Right now, there is so much happening around us that it is making bulls really jittery. In fact, the bears have lot more arsenal than the bulls. Bulls actually have just one arrow with them. That is retail participation or retail money. And of course, bears are getting a fresh supply for arrows nearly every day. This weekend, it was the turn of Syria. And in today's ecosystem, it is very important for retail to evolve and adapt. In today's Nugget, I'll talk about 5 of the changes that I've made in Q3 in my trading strategy. Some of them are leading to good results. In fact, you might appreciate now some of the things that I have shared in some of the recent videos last couple of weeks. Today's market action, the graphs do not look very different. Nearly same amount of reds. Just that the reds have lot more FMCG or consumption stocks at the bottom. If you look at the laggards, Reliance actually was pulling Nifty down most with a 1.3% fall, followed by HUL, ITC, Tata Motors and Axis Bank. And when big boys including Reliance are down, it is not easy for Nifty to stay afloat. Today's biggest winner was L&T, HDFC Bank was next, followed by Wipro, Airtel and TCS. Next 50 also broadly looked similar in terms of red and green distribution. The pull came from Godrej, Dabur, Divi's Lab, Zomato and Motherson Sumi. And Bajaj Holdings is back at the top. This stock usually goes up for several days when it is up like this. 4% gain. While the fight today was not one-sided, in fact more stocks or sectors were in the green, the big cuts and the big sectors were with the bears. See, personal and household, this is the consumption pack, tallest tower in the red. Nothing which was going up was large in market cap, and suddenly we have a new player at the top in terms of the gains for investors, and that's the investment banking pack. Look at the run up it is having right now. 7 straight green days. All the large sectors are accumulating again at the bottom and we have reds again. That's predominantly because the consumption pack, that is personal and household and food and tobacco, that was down a lot. And also auto, that's also in some ways consumption only. Now today's charts are very difficult for retail to make up their mind on their trades. Very early in the day, Nifty went up, that came down, then went up nearly the same amount and then came down whole day. If you look at Bank Nifty, literally same pattern. Next 50 actually created a new high very early in the day. That's a positive signal for retail. And then it came down with volatility. Nifty IT was down whole day and then that went up. Towards the end, it actually nearly created a new high. What kind of trade would you take on this kind of volatility? Bank Nifty was a sea of red. Within that, HDFC of course created a new high and we now have IDFC in the red as well along with IndusInd. 2 fresh highs, that is BSC and CDSL. And this sector is full of greens, no reds, good volumes, several rockets. The best performances were from CAMS, Angel One, and today Motilal Oswal was up a lot. IT 6 stocks made new highs today also. This sector does not want to pause. Look at the graph of Wipro, up whole day. In the telecom space, ITI was up 15% today also. One more stock that was on fire, that was Nelco, hit a fresh high up 5% and I bought a little Nelco today. Auto was all red, consumption not looking good. In the auto ancillary, the tire companies were looking okay, MRF, Balakrishna, Apollo. Defense also was looking good, the big players were up. So was Zen Technologies, and yes, I am continuing to hold Zen Technologies along with Solar Industries and BL in this pack. Oil and gas was terrible today, everyone down. Just that the oil marketing companies managed to post slight greens. Keep an eye on these dividend yields, they have started going down already. Suddenly you will find them lot less attractive and that will symbolize the recovery in this pack. The power sector was looking better than oil and gas today. Adani Energy was down, Coal India was down, but the remaining pack was up. The sibling sector, renewable power, that was rocking today. NHPC, Vari and Premier were the best performers, 2% each. And consumption looked really sorry today. The entire sector was bleeding. The only stock that was up was Radico Khaitan. And within this red, associated alcohol hit an all-time high. See here, very early in the day, but then corrected. And most of the stocks were down very early in the day. They stayed down whole day. Non-edible also, there were some greens. For example, Kalyan Jewelers, that was up 6%. And today we have two more entries, Bajaj Consumer and Jyoti Laboratories. Bajaj was up and DMart was up a bit. But big cuts in the other stocks. CHUL, the biggest stock, down 3%. Today even Titan, which was showing a positive trend the entire week last week, that had a red. And Asian Paints hit a fresh 52-week low today. This is the worst stock in the consumption pack right now. In the global view, today's silver is showing 3% up and gold 1.5% up. Crude also is up 1%. And on Friday, S&P created a new high. Today, DAX created a new high. Not a very pretty chart. Nifty and Bank Nifty both down. Only Nifty IT was up a bit. That's because TCS was up. FI number today also was green, but a very small 700 crores. This month, FIs are net buyers and DIs are net sellers. And we have a new RBI governor. Bitcoin is again below $100,000. Rupees sliding fast towards 85. The Brent is still below 72. US markets looking good. They will soon get into holiday mood now. Not a big day. I today sold Vedanta. There was a good run up. There was 10% profit on the table. So with Radico, 10% profit. Radico, I still have about half of the stocks left. Reasonable profit, and I use that to buy Nelco. No rationale, just pure trade because of the uptrend. Overall, this month is shaping up well, but these gains are not very big. Right now, I'm focusing on percentages, and I'll talk about that in the Nugget section also. Nugget time. What is happening around us? Markets, of course, are volatile and sector rotation is happening. If you see the sector graph I show every day, the players keep changing on the top. So if you keep clinging to any sector in the short term at least, the fortunes will keep on changing. Remember Adani Enterprises? Overall economy is not healthy and we have talked about it in nearly all videos. Most of the macro numbers are not looking bullish at all. Earnings at this moment are not looking like increasing in general for most sectors. Inflation is high, GDP growth is low, government is not spending, budget is round the corner. FI are trading and milking the markets, of course. DIs also are hand in glove in my opinion, and the expenses are paid by retail. And of course, after all this, retail is confused. If you are on money, then the markets go up and FOMO is bad. Then when you buy, the markets go down. In fact, I can tell you that if you are a typical retail, your portfolio is still in red, not in green yet. My portfolio is not in green yet. So number one change that I have done of late in this quarter. I have talked about it. My ticket sizes are 1, 2, 5, 10, 1 lakh, 2 lakh, 5 lakh, 10 lakh. One thing I have done consciously is I am buying more of 2 units, less of 1, less of 5. And in this 2 units, I am going for less percentage gains. You might have observed of late that I buy and sell stocks quickly. As soon as there is say 5% or even 4% gain, I would sell it. Why? See, in today's market, 10 to 20% gains are hard unless there is a good gain for 2, 3, 4 days. By the time these gains accumulate in say 10 days, there is one bad reversal day at sector level, at stock level, and the gains evaporate if you are going for larger gain. If I go for a smaller gain, 4 to 5% in a good trend of 2, 3, 4 days, this kind of gain is there. And I have missed the bus after that in many cases. For example, KFin Tech, for example, BSC, where I sold the stock after say 5%, 7%, 10% gain, and the stock ran up a lot more, which is okay. But then I reinvest that money into something else. Today I book profits in 2 stocks, 10% each. I immediately bought Nelco. I don't know whether Nelco will give profit tomorrow or not. The trend is looking good. So at higher ticket size and lesser gains, I am able to rotate money a lot faster. And I hope to make more money because I can go for more profit booked rather than keep the money blocked for say 8-10 days. Just for example, say JM Financial, my money is blocked since 3 months now. It is still in loss. I was in profit at some point of time. I thought I'll exit when it is 10-15% up. It went down a lot. Then I stayed in loss for 3 months. I'm still in loss, not even recovered the principal yet. Same thing is happening in Motilal Oswal also. Number 2, not averaging low on FMCG. FMCG is an example. But in most sectors where I'm at losses, I'm not averaging down. This is totally contrary to what I've done most of my life. For example, Asian Paints, HUL, I'm not selling those stocks right now. But I'm not averaging down. Remember my video on laddering? When they start going up, I might buy more. I don't want to block my capital right now. Capital management is paramount. In fact, a side effect of this is I have sold many of the loss making stocks, like the microfinance ones, where I'm not expecting a quick recovery. That frees up the capital and helps me manage my capital a lot better. Those stocks are still not bad and I might buy them again at some point of time. I have a avoid list right now. The stocks which are say below 50% from their 52-week high or which are 10% away from 52-week lows. There could be some exceptions where I'm expecting a immediate recovery. But otherwise, I'm not touching those stocks at all, even if they are fantastic stocks. This is a trader's market. This is not a time, at least for me, to make long-term investments. I feel that in the next 6 months, we will cross this particular bridge many, many times, or in fact the bridges below that. We will see most sectors and stocks below current prices several times in the next 6 months, maybe for next 1.5 year. So I don't want to kind of block my capital again in long term bets right now. Also, there are green stocks which I buy, for example Nelco at an all time high. I added something today, but I'm not buying something where I won't average at all if there is a fall. For example, IT. If IT falls right now, it could fall a lot. It is very dangerous to see capital in your bank account. You need to hide it. And I am hiding my capital in ETF, gold, silver. And in my previous videos, I have talked about it. Gold, silver, I have been using to hide capital for at least 1 year now. And gold has given good results. Silver has not. And recently, one thing I figured out was gold and silver have negative correlation to Bitcoin. So Bitcoin obviously is going up. So gold and silver are not going up. They are stuck somewhere. There is a slight up move starting now. But then Bitcoin has come down from 104 to about 96, 97 levels. Gold and silver are not safe to hide capital right now. So I'm choosing to hide in ETFs. I've talked about it. Motilal Oswal, two funds I've chosen, 50 and 100. The names vary on various platforms. Right now I'm putting capital in these. If I have less money in the bank accounts, I will get less into trades. Most people are compulsive traders or investors. They can't stand idle cash. I have started avoiding short-term trading. There are various categories and I'm avoiding all of them. BTST, buy today, sell tomorrow. Now Nelco could turn out to be BTST if tomorrow I have a good gain, but that's not the goal with which I am buying. The opposite of that, sell today, buy tomorrow. This is typically shorting. There is no instrument like this, but I am not getting into that in general. I tried that last week. This one I am still finding hard to avoid. I sold PFC for example, and then it shot up. So at times I do get into this indulgence, but at that time I am mentally prepared to get out of that trade for now. Intraday, it has never worked for me. Even there are times when Motilal Oswal was up 8-9% and then I said, okay, I'll sell now and it will fall and then I'll book profit. And that day it ended up 12-13% up and I made losses. And I was so irritated that I invested a lot that day in Motilal Oswal and since then it has been down. FNO in general, I have stopped completely for now. It has not worked for me. And it is not that I don't fully understand it. Yes, there are some rough edges, but this is a market which is very hard for retail investors and traders to make money in. You really need big money to kind of make money in this. Small money does not make any sense in general. And I don't have enough capital and risk appetite to put big money. If these learnings were useful, let me know in the comment section. There are a lot more also which I am changing. I'll come up with a version 2 also. Hope this was useful. Thanks for watching and I will see you tomorrow.